What does Donald Trump's return to the presidency in 2025 mean for America and the world? Buckle up, because this might be a political storm that's already shaking the foundations of society. After a tumultuous first term filled with chaos and controversy, Trump is back, and not holding back. On the very first day in office, nearly 100 executive orders were unleashed. Yes, 100. Immigration policies are being rewritten, energy regulations revamped, and protections rolled back faster than anyone can say, "Make America great again." But is this truly about making America great, or just making it unpredictable? Let's dive deeper into these executive orders. Many of them target long-standing policies that have defined American governance for decades. For instance, changes to immigration policy could mean a significant shift in how the U.S. approaches asylum seekers and border security. The rollback of environmental protections raises serious questions about climate change and public health. These rapid changes may create confusion and uncertainty, not only for American citizens, but also for international partners who rely on U.S. stability. Then there's the return of tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China. Supporters cheer this as a move to protect American jobs, but at what cost? Critics warn these tariffs could send prices soaring for everyday Americans. So here's the real question. Is this economic strategy or economic warfare? And if it is, who really wins in the end? The economic implications of these tariffs are profound. While they may provide short-term relief for certain industries, they could lead to increased costs for consumers across the board. Everyday items, everything from electronics to groceries, could see price hikes as companies pass on their increased costs to consumers. This raises important questions about the long-term sustainability of such policies. Are we prepared to bear these costs in the name of protecting American jobs? Or are we setting ourselves up for a cycle of retaliation that could hurt our economy more than help it? And let's not forget the freeze on federal spending for assistance programs, so unpopular that it was quickly reversed after a public outcry. But was it a mistake or a calculated move to test the limits of what people will tolerate? Is this leadership or just a chaotic game of political chess where real lives are the pieces? This freeze on spending reflects a broader trend in American politics, the tension between fiscal conservatism and social responsibility. While some argue that reducing federal spending is necessary for economic health, others see it as an attack on vulnerable populations who rely on government assistance. The quick reversal after public backlash suggests that even within Trump's administration, there is an awareness of the potential political fallout from such drastic measures. But there's more. Trump has made it clear there's an intent to engage with authoritarian leaders like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. What does that say about America's standing in the world? Are we seeing a shift in global power? One that places economic interests above democratic values? And if so, where does that road lead? Engaging with authoritarian leaders raises significant ethical questions about America's role on the global stage. Historically, the U.S. has positioned itself as a champion of democracy and human rights. By cozying up to leaders known for their repressive regimes, Trump risks undermining those values. This shift could embolden other authoritarian regimes around the world, leading to a decline in democratic norms globally. Moreover, Trump's foreign policy approach could have lasting implications for international alliances. Traditional allies may feel alienated or threatened by this new direction, prompting them to reconsider their relationships with the United States. The potential for shifting alliances could create instability in regions already fraught with tension. Trump's presidency continues to be a lightning rod for division. Supporters praise his boldness and willingness to challenge the status quo, while critics see a looming threat to democracy itself. But step back for a moment. What if this isn't about Trump at all? What if the real question is why societies keep swinging between extremes? Why does history keep repeating itself? This cyclical nature of political extremes can be traced back through history. Think of past leaders who rose to power during times of crisis by promising radical change. The allure of populism often grows stronger when people feel disenfranchised or unheard by traditional political institutions. In many ways, Trump represents a reaction against what many perceive as an elite establishment disconnected from ordinary Americans. And that brings us to something bigger. Because whether it's Trump, Biden, or any leader from any country, power itself is an enigma. It can be built on charisma, wielded with fear, lost in an instant. And yet, history shows that those who have it always want more. Why? Is power addictive? Does it warp the minds of those who hold it, or does it simply reveal who they always were? The psychology of power is fascinating and complex. Studies suggest that power can indeed change individuals' behavior and perceptions. Those in positions of authority may become more self-serving or less empathetic over time. This phenomenon raises important questions about accountability in leadership. How do we ensure that those who wield power remain connected to the needs and concerns of their constituents? What about us as citizens? People love to argue over politics, but how much of it is actually in our control? If every leader, every decision, and every policy is just another cycle in an endless loop, does it even matter who's in charge? Or is the real power something we haven't even begun to understand? As we delve deeper into these questions, consider how Trump's policies might impact not just domestic affairs, but international relations as well. The implications of his administration's approach to foreign policy could redefine alliances and reshape global dynamics. For instance, engaging with leaders like Putin and Xi could signal a departure from traditional diplomatic norms and raise concerns about human rights and democratic governance worldwide. Moreover, Trump's economic strategies are likely to reverberate beyond U.S. borders. The tariffs imposed on imports could trigger retaliatory measures from other nations, leading to trade wars that may ultimately hurt consumers globally. Economists predict inflationary pressures resulting from these tariffs could affect everything from grocery bills to housing costs for ordinary Americans, a reality that many may find hard to swallow. And let's not overlook the cultural ramifications of Trump's presidency. The divisive rhetoric surrounding his administration has already polarized communities across America. As he embarks on his second term, will we see an escalation in political violence or civil unrest reminiscent of events from his first term? The societal impacts could be profound as citizens grapple with increasing polarization. In conclusion, Donald Trump's return presents both opportunities and challenges, not just for America, but for the entire world stage. As we navigate this uncertain terrain together, it's crucial to remain vigilant and engaged with these pressing issues. So, what do you think? Consider these questions carefully as you reflect on what Trump's presidency means for our future as individuals and as a society at large. Until next time, stay curious and vigilant because there's always more to wonder about.